12 seconds later.
Good day, guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Mark again. If you're new to my channel and if you love cars, please consider subscribing and kindly check out my playlist. All right, so for today's DIY, what we're going to do is I'm gonna show you guys on how you can remove, replace, clean, REGAP, basically everything that you need to do when it comes to your spark plugs. And for this DIY, these are the tools that we need. You need a size 16 spark plug socket wrench, your ratchet, your extension, Phillips screwdriver, a size 10 T-wrench, a filler gauge or any spark plug clearance tool that you prefer, and a sandpaper.
Later.
Alright, so first thing that we will need to do is remove the air box. It would make it easier for us to remove and replace our spark plugs. All you need to do is remove the bolts here, here, and then here, and then one in there, and loosen up the bolt for your intake hose. And let's remove it. Alright, so let me just remove the air box. Okay. And it's out. So we will have easier access on our spark plugs. So we only have 3 since we the engine for Hyundai Eon is only 3 cylinders. Alright, so basically using your ratchet and your extension as well as the size 16 socket for your wrench or your ratchet, all you need to do is remove one of the spark plug cap, this one, and then when you're loosening up a spark plug, just loosen it lightly, and you can twist it or turn it counterclockwise like this. And also never do this when the engine is hot, because you might damage the threads on your cylinder head. Alright.
A few moments later.
Alright, so guys, we've already removed the spark plug, and this is one. So the code is this. It's an NGK LZKR6B10E. There you go. So this is a copper spark plug, but it has a nickel tip because copper are good conductors, but it's really soft, so it may wear out really fast if this is just pure copper. That's why manufacturers coat it with nickel. And what's the advantage of this one? This is the cheapest type of spark plug that you can use out in the market, but this wears out fast. So you can replace this spark plug between 30,000 to 40,000 kilometers. That is indicated on your owner's manual. The second one would be a platinum tip spark plug. The difference with that one is platinum has a harder tip, so it wears out twice as long. So you can replace that between 60 to 80,000 kilometers. And for the iridium spark plug, it can last up to 100 to 120 kilometers. So what are the maintenance of your spark plug? Okay, so the maintenance of your spark plug, it should be a REGAP and clean every 10,000 kilometers. So before we regap the spark plug, let's just know more about what the purpose of a spark plug is. So basically, from the name itself, spark plug is the one producing the spark to be able to ignite the gasoline inside your combustion chamber. And make sure each time you replace your spark plug is you get the correct size and length as well, because if you happen to get a longer spark plug, that might hit the valves and the deck of your piston and might damage your engine. And if it's a shorter spark plug, it might, or the spark might not be able to ignite the gasoline, plus your compression will become lower. Next, so how do we clean the spark plug? You can clean the spark plug if you have a flame torch. You can clean the carbon buildup, just be careful, or maybe sandpaper. Just be careful when you're cleaning the tip. Okay, I don't recommend you sanding the tip, just the ground electrode. So this one, you can clean that using sandpaper or a steel brush, and be careful with the thread as well. So mine is actually, I just checked the gap, and it's still within specifications. So the specification by default, NGK, this one is 1 mm or 0.39 millimeters. So I did adjust mine to 0.86 millimeters or 34 inches. So how do you regap it? So if you want to regap your spark plug, all you need to have is, in my case, I do have a filler gauge, and always check your manual for recommended gap, because if you happen to adjust the gap wider than the normal recommended specification is, that can produce a weak spark and might affect your fuel consumption, and your idle may become erratic. And if the gap is too small, it will produce a very thin spark, and same effect, it might not be sufficient to ignite the gasoline on your combustion chamber. So it should be within specifications. All right, so let me just show you how to check the gap of your spark plug. All right, so I do have a filler gauge here. All right, so since I'll be adjusting it to 34 inches, 0.34 inches, which is equivalent to 84 millimeters. All I need to do is just combine the two like this, and then you can insert it carefully in between the ground electrode and the tip, like that one. So you need to feel a little resistance each time you pull out the filler gauge. All right, so mine is good. No need to adjust. I already checked the three spark plugs, and they are all the same. No cleaning is required, but I'm gonna show you my way of cleaning my spark plug. So I'm using a carburetor cleaner, and then I'm just gonna spray it lightly like this. Alright, so it's already become whiter, and then if you have a cloth, you can just wipe it dry, and just make sure you dry out the carburetor cleaner And also, let me just mention, if your idle is erratic, you might want to check your spark plug for any damages, like cracks on the insulator, and check for buildup on the ground electrode, the electrode, and the insulator, the inner insulator here. All right, so check for any damages. This might corrode in time, so check that one as well, because if that's corroded, this has a crack, spark might come out, and there would be a leakage in terms of spark, so there won't be any spark left on your electrode. So that might cause your idle to be erratic and might affect your fuel consumption. Alright, so I'll be returning our spark plug now. I've already cleaned it and checked the gap. This actually is the last spark plug that I'll be doing. So first, just make sure that it's inside, and never use a ratchet when installing back your spark plug. Just tighten it up by hand. We don't want to damage your cylinder head, because it's a pain in the ass, as well as pain in your pocket to get it rethread. Alright, so I can feel it already tightening up. And make sure when you tighten your spark plug, not too tight and not too loose. If it's too loose, there might be a leak on your head, and that will affect the performance of your engine. Right, so if you cannot turn it by hand, time to use your ratchet. I forgot the specification for the specific foot-pounds of torque tightening up your spark plug. I'm gonna try to research that a bit, and we'll include it on the video if I happen to find it. If not, again, always remember, not too tight and not too loose. Alright, so I'm just making sure all the cables are secured. Alright, so those are secured. And also, when you're removing the spark plug, just make sure, if you'll be doing the three at the same time, you place a marker. If not, I would suggest do it one spark plug at a time, just to be sure. Alright, so basically that's how you maintain and clean your spark plug. And if you reach the mileage for your spark plug, I would suggest to just replace it with the new sets. Alright, so that actually concludes our quick tutorial for spark plug maintenance, regapping, removing, replacing, etc. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Thank you so much. Until our next video.